So let's just get right into it. Um, Question number one: what are 3 to 5 stereotypes that don't apply to you as a writer? Now, I had to look it up to see all the things that apply to stereotypes as writers. And yes, I do have a cat. Yes, I like to be alone with my thoughts and all that stuff like that. But a lot of the things didn't apply to me. So the one thing that didn't apply to me is that I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that. I don't drink at all. I don't smoke. I don't like vape or I do any drugs or anything like that. So that's number one. Number two, I don't go to coffee shops. I'm not really a coffee drinker. Sometimes I need it just to give me a little pep in my step or something like that. But usually I just drink tea, which I should be drinking now. I'm gonna get some later. So yeah, I usually just drink tea. Um, in coffee shops, I never, I never seem to get there early enough. I don't know what it is. It's like sometimes I'll get there and it'd be like 4 other people there, and they all got the outlets, and I'm like, I don't even feel like it anymore. I don't even care. And then I'll go in there and I may have my laptop. I really like to write on a notebook. So I'm like the only one out without a laptop. Just me and my lonely, raggedy old notebook trying to write something down. Yeah. And it makes me feel like the odd one out. So I just stay home. I just stay home or I go to a random park bench and just write until my heart's content and then go home. And the third one, I'm trying to think, what was the last one? Yeah, don't drink, don't smoke, don't hang out at coffee shops. I think that's about it. I don't even hang out with people who do drink and smoke, so it may exclude me from a lot of my writer friends. So there you go. Uh, Number two is, what part of the writing process is the hardest for you? That would be getting started, getting a concept off the ground. Um, I'm a really big plotter, so me just taking a concept, seeing if it will work from, start to finish in one book, and then start to finish throughout like a series, or would it be able to connect to something else, or is it a random thought in a random universe that I have to build up, or can it be included in a universe that I already have? Um, so that's been the hardest for me, just seeing what exactly this story can go, where these characters can fit. Can they stand on their own, or do they need help with existing characters? And it's that and third. But that's been the hardest part for me. Like, I'll have one concept and it'd be, hey, this person is an elf. I'm like, okay, what type of elf? It has to do with Santa Claus, or is it something else over here? Is it going to fit into the world of elves? Should I, include Fae? I'm a fantasy writer, if you haven't already guessed that. So should it have something to do with the Fae court, or should it have something to do with their own separate world and land and stuff like that? So that's been the hardest part of me, just trying to flesh out, see where these particular characters can go, and how much effort should I put into it on them standing on their own, or basically be included into something else. And the last thing I want to do is have them try to stand on their own when their storyline really isn't fleshed out enough for them to be able to have their own love interests, have their own, family drama, their own hero's quest. So that's been the hardest part for me. Number three, do I ever feel imposter syndrome as a writer or as a YouTuber? Uh, as a writer, yes. I went through a really bad series of imposter syndrome. Back in 2000, it's 2002 now, so back in 2020, like right before everything really started to kick off with the pandemic, I was like, I really don't feel like a writer. I don't feel like I know enough. I have enough, or I can do enough. Um, and that was crazy around the time, I think, was it, let's say, 2000, yeah, around 2020 is when everything really started to get crazy. Around that time, I had an offer from an agent to be my literal agent. So when she came to me, she was like, "Yes, I love your story. Yes, I love your book. I would love to sign you on." I had to tell her no. And I know people are like, "What? What the hell?" But at the time, I felt like I didn't know what I was doing at all. It's like the way I felt was that if someone was to come to me and, you know, it was like, tell me what an adverb is with a gun. Like, tell me what an adverb is, or give me your firstborn. It'll be like, ah, here's my firstborn. Ah, she likes Cheerios. And that's all I could say because I had no idea. I knew I could put a story together. And I knew that I could, write characters and write emotions and this, that, and the third, but I didn't know the skill of it. I didn't know, the sequence and the notes and it's hard to explain what that is. You know how you have to learn the rules and then break them? And I was like, I was just breaking whatever I wanted. I didn't know what rules I was breaking. I didn't know what was happening. And I knew that there was going to come a time when I was going to get to a place where I was going to be receiving the accolades that I've always wanted as a writer, and it was going to come back at me, and they were going to realize that I was a fraud. I was a true fraud. And that's when I went back to school. That's when I decided to get my degree. Like, I went all this time with workshops and craft books and everything else, learning from different videos, learning from different things, and I've taught myself well, but I didn't want to be in a place where I was a best-selling author, yet I've never written a thesis. Never. And that was for me. For some other people, as a writer, you don't need a degree. If you can write well, you can write well. People will love your story. People will love you. And that would be the best route for you. It wasn't the best route for me. So I told the agent no. And she wished me all the luck in the world. And I have to realize, I'm still trying to figure out if it was a mistake or not. I feel like it's not. But yet I sit here unpublished about 2 years later. And I realize in one way it was the best decision for me. But what if I never get published? Then what do? I have a degree, a shiny new degree, but no agent. So I'm still trying to figure out if it's the best thing for me or not. And as a YouTuber, nope, no imposter syndrome here. I'm still learning. I'm still doing my best. Still trying to get on here. It's not like I'm trying to give some crazy advice or trying to look the best or trying to look glamorous. As you can see, no glamour here. So no imposter syndrome as a YouTuber, but as a writer, yes. And my one way to fix that for me was to go back to school, and that's what I did. I'm now a junior at Westchester University, and it's been good so far. I'll probably do another video about the trials and tribulations of being over a certain age in college. So stay tuned for that. My next question is, do you generally receive support or criticism about your writing? Support, yes. Criticism, yes. Just because I am in college. So everything that I write about, I usually can send it to a teacher, and whatever, they'll give me the feedback based on academic stuff. I never had too much feedback on my own writing. Um, and that's been a problem because I've been using agents. Yeah, I've been using agents to give you feedback on writing, which is not good. Don't do that. Please don't. Go to an editor. Go to a critique group. Go to a friend, family, somebody. Go to a stranger if you have to. On the street, as you're walking past them, I'm like, hey, can you just look at my story real quick? Because me using agents, I feel like um, I will write a story, write the first chapter of my story, and then I will just send it off. And whatever response I'll get back from an agent, I'm like, well, I know that wasn't right, so let me just write it over again. And finally, I had to stop, um, get some help from, different people that I reached out to as far as critique readers, beta readers, and little freelance editors, which has been up and down for me. And I'll probably do another writer video on that, but that's been up and down for me a lot. I had some bad run-ins and some good run-ins with a lot of them. So that I haven't been getting too much criticism lately. When I first started out, yeah, oh yeah, I published my own book, so yes, I got a lot of criticism from that. It was terrible, riddled, riddled with typos and mistakes and everything you can think of in a book, potholes, characters' names being spelled differently on one page to the next. A whole chapter is missing. Yeah. So I have received a lot of criticism, a lot of critique for my writing, and it just comes with it. It comes with the territory of doing that, getting better, being diligent, being focused, working on your craft, and I think that's all goes into building up your thicker skin as a writer, which every writer needs. So my last question, and I thank God is only 5. Uh, any advice to give to new writers is number 5. I would give new writers the advice of, because a lot of them are in school. They are in school. They finally figured out their passion, and that is to write stories, to write different characters, to bring their worlds to life. You probably hear my son in the background, so please disregard. So my advice to new writers is to feel what's in your gut. The way you feel right now as a writer, with these characters, with these stories, if this is going to be a career, it's not just going to be a one-off book or a one-off series. If this is what you feel in your heart, take it and kind of think 50 years from now. Will you be able to sustain it? Will you be able to promote it, with the same energy, Will you be able to keep creating these stories and keep bringing them to life and keep, plugging in? A lot of writing is just you showing up at the keyboard or at the notepad, plugging away. If that's what you can do and you don't want it to be just, oh, well, I'm not a teacher, so I guess I'll write. Or, I got laid off, so I guess I'll put a book together. You know, the economy is not where I want it to be, or something just not working out, so I guess I'll be a writer. If that's your mentality, I'm not sure if you're gonna last long, because it's gonna be a point where if you are getting far as writing, it's gonna be a point where they're gonna come to you and like, okay, we like what you have. Can you give us more of it? And you're gonna be like, nah. No, this is only supposed to be a hobby. Nope, can't do it. This is only supposed to be for like a year. So, so I would say assess if you want this to be a hobby versus a career, and really figure that out before you before you waste your time, before you waste, an agent's time, because that's the bad, that's the worst thing, just to have time wasted. So that'll be my advice. So this is only, I think this is a short video. I'm not too sure. I want to go lay down, grab some tea with some lemon and some Halls, maybe, I don't even know, and rest. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, if things don't get worse. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.